Alright, and welcome everybody to a premiere draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. I know it's been a while since my last upload, but we'll get right in here and have some fun doing a quick draft. Hopefully we open some good cards, some good rares. I've enjoyed some red-white aggro recently, as well as Sultai, Jeskai even. I'm not a big fan of the 5-color soup decks, but of course we'll see what we open and go from there. I think overall for this format, I'm not as thrilled drafting it as I was Aether Drift, but I'm curious to know what you all think if you let me know in the comments. Looks like we opened a Fangkeeper's Familiar. That's a definitely a serviceable card. It's 4 mana 3/3 flash. When it enters, you can either gain 3, surveil 3, destroy an enchantment, or counter a creature. Outside of that, uncommons, Armament Dragon, um, not the best uncommon dragon. Probably Rakshasa's Bargain. But if you had told me to pick between the familiar and bargain, I'm going to pick the familiar commons. Not a lot there, so we'll take the familiar here and get past a Hollowmurk Siege. If you can be aggressive with this, it is awesome. There have been times I've chosen Sultai and it worked out okay, where I was able to beat my opponent with card advantage. Seeing how we first picked the Sultai card, I'm not opposed to taking a green-black card second. It does make the mana base a little awkward. I know the last time I ended up with a deck with a Hollowmurk Siege in it. My mana fixing was not what it needed to be. Outside of the Siege, Forecaster's fun if you want to do the Dragonstorm Pondering the Globe um, strategy. um, yeah, looks like a pretty easy siege here. We'll try to make it work. It's definitely fun to beat down with that one. Try land, but it's an Abzan. Of course, the counters deck's been picking up some steam lately, so I'm not opposed to splashing or ditching the familiar if we wanted to, but I'm not going to do that for a land. Static Snares, definitely a good removal spell, probably not what I'm wanting to pick with the start we've had. The Resolve is fine. Pack Beast is pretty good, but not where we're at. Not a lot for us in this pack. The Earth Carver's fine, although typically on the high end I'd rather have dragons. The Siege, though, it does work well being aggressive, and for that reason, with the colored start we have, I think I'm actually going to take the initiate here. It's not really where I want to be with a third pick, but I can see a world where I want to have 2 drops and just start growing my team and attacking my opponent. With that, the Doosan, the Champion of Doosan's probably good. Teaming Dragonstorm is great. I'm definitely a person who enjoys playing Kishal Trawlers for the value. Um, with kind of whether we want to index on the Hollowmurk Siege Abzan aspect of it, but I think it's perfectly okay as well to be in more of a value driven. We're gonna put some counters, draw some cards strategy. We had the familiar. Um, Champion of Doosan's more replaceable than the Trawlers. Focus of the Mind's good. It would be good to have um, some card draw. We can pick that up later. Although we do need to. Um, that being said, I'm actually going to take the Champion of Doosan. Typically, you want to be green blue, but with a Hollowmurk Siege, if we're gonna do that, I'd rather not stretch the mana base in a weird way. Severance Priest is okay, but I'm not going to splash for it. I have fun killing my opponent's 2 drops with a Humbling Elder out of nowhere. But again, we're going to have to really pay attention to our mana base, as we're going to start getting into some weird green, black, or blue on turn 1 and 2 situations. That is a late Jeskai Shrinekeeper. Pick 6. Definitely the strongest card in the pack. That adds both white and red, though. That does just turn us into 5 colors. Probably just going to take either the Agent of Kotus or the land here. Agent of Kotus is so replaceable. I'm actually going to take a Thornwood Falls. Riverwalk Technique's fine. Trade Route Envoy's fine. The Dragon is okay. Probably going to take the Dragon here. There we go. Lion Weight. Perfect. Removal and buy back a creature spell. Exactly what we want. The Night Watch is fine. Another land would be fine. We're going to take the Lion Weight and feel happy about it. We do need some level of card draw, probably. I really don't want to play Cruel Truth. You know, if we don't get anything else, the Rakshasa is probably fine. I'm actually I'm torn between the Rakshasa and the Riverwalk Technique here. I've never actually played the Rakshasa and been overly happy with it, so maybe we'll just take a 4-drop. Out of these picks, I'll take a Forecaster, and you know, if we end up doing that, we can do that. The Earth Carver is fine. If we don't get anything else of value, we'll take this. Don't want to play it, but we'll keep the globe strategy available to us. Nothing too crazy yet, and I wish I'd started recording this, but the last Sultai draft, I actually opened 2 of the Death Begets Life mythic rare card that allows you to destroy all um, creatures and enchantments, I believe, and then draw that many cards. Here we have a Lion Weight again, which is really nice. Piercing Exile would be good. This Blade, probably okay. The Flesh Crafter is really good. It just enters as the best thing on the battlefield, but you can renew it, grow a thing, and then for that turn, you know, you can't just win the game like if if you have a flyer or something. Probably going to take the Flesh Crafter here. The second Lion Weight would be nice though. Yeah, probably could have ended up Jeskai had we taken that Shrine Keeper late pick pack 1, but seeing a lot of good Jeskai cards here. The Stormbrood's probably fine. We can play both modes. Noting Caustic Exile also really great. And the land. Hopefully we can pick up some. We have the Lion Weight for removal. We could tap a thing down. We have the Riverwalk Technique, so I wouldn't mind some more removal, but here I'm just going to take the Dragon. Dispelling Exile is good. I'm not going to overpick the Snakeskin Veil. Thornwood Falls would be nice. Probably going to take the Exile here. It's nice. We picked up some dragons and some cheap interactive spell. Now this is interesting. I don't know that I'm a Wingblade Disciple deck, although I do like that card. But a second Lion Weight or a Sultai Monument. That is a difficult pick. I do think Sultai Monument is really strong. I just really love casting the Lion Weight. Now Essence Anchor, I don't think that card has ever beaten me. It is a dirtily card I would like to play. That being said, I'm going to take a Sibsig Appraiser. Really good common over the Wayfarer and the replaceable champion of Doosan here. We'll take a Sibsig Appraiser. Also let us maybe bend something and then, you know, to use Lion Weight, maybe we bend an Earth Carver, draw it back and deal 4, something like that. Relic is pretty good. You know, if we do pick up a globe, we kind of have the combo plus the ability to mana fix into activating the relic. Um, Although at this point, I wonder if a focus the mind is necessary. I would like a Rakshasa's bargain or whatever it is at some point here, or just maybe it's just a pummeler. I don't know if it's right, but I'm just gonna take the pummeler here. Let's see. Serpent's a decent tempo card. I actually kind of like the resolve. Sometimes, if I can pick off a dragon or, you know, win a combat, if we are on the attack, but it looks like maybe we're going to be more Sultai here, so we'd like some more counters. This is replaceable. This is actually a pretty good removal spell, though, so we're going to take it over the resolve. I'm probably be green-blue based, splashing black, which makes this initiate less likely to make it in. Drag rolling or sorry, roiling Dragonstorm pick 8 is absurd. We are going to take that. We have 2 dragons so far. And now a third lion weight or a piercing exile. I'm going to take all the lion weights they give me. Rediscover the way pick 10. Yeah, Jeskai definitely open here. We did not end up there. I'll pick the Battlefront here for some gems. Sultai Monument pick 12. That is what we needed. That is beautiful. And a Champion of Doosan, we can definitely play it. I do like the Doosan with the lion weights just because it does hit for 4. To reanimate that. And hopefully we don't get run over by the red-white decks. We can aggressively block with the 4-2 and then bring it back. Here we have opened a huge bomb in Ureni. The question is, do we splash red for it? The answer is probably. Now, that being said, Scavenger Regent is a really good dragon. We don't have to splash for it. We have the ability to wipe the board. So is Ureni that much better than Regent to worth splashing? I don't know. You know what? We're gonna have fun. We're gonna play the Ureni. I think that would be more fun. So that's what we're gonna do. A 4th lion weight would be fun. Although at this point, I think a Kishla Trawlers. I have run into situations where I'm able to Kishla Trawler, return the lion weight to my hand, the Kishla Trawler die, I return the Kishla Trawler, and there's a lot of value to be had there, and I would like to have access to that. Worth noting, I do need to start thinking about my mana fixing. The Sultai Monument helped. Here, though, we will just take the Kishla Trawlers. A second Kishla Trawlers or a Piercing Exile here. We have enough lion weights. I'm not too big on the Piercing Exile. Going to take a second Kishla Trawlers. That also works with that Kishla Trawler lion weight value combo. Do we want another dragon or an Exile? Probably going to take an Exile here. Night Watch is fine. I want to have a lot of proactive early plays to not get run over by red-white. And pretty much just counter whatever I can. Which the Humbling Elder works well for. I would love to block my opponent's Sunset Strike Master with a Humbling Elder out of nowhere. We have a few dragons. We want to survive to cast Ureni. Worth noting, we would like a red dual land at this point to splash for the Ureni. So maybe it was right to take the 2-mana green dragon artifact, whatever that is, earlier. Kishla Skimmer is good as well here, actually. We're going to take that. I didn't see it. I should have paid better attention. It lets you draw a card with something like your graveyard once per turn. Sipsic Appraiser is nice. We'll play it probably. Traveling Botanist is great. Although, that being said, I would love this Tri-Land that lets us green-blue, but also our red splash. And I think here, as much as I love the Botanist, I want to cast Ureni. We're going to take the Tri-Land. I doubt we're going to get a Globe after this last pick here, so these are not making the cut. We actually have some cuts to make. Sultai Devotee or Saltwater Cliffs. The Cliffs help the Ureni splash. The Devotee does not. Devotee is a nice cheap play. We have a few 2-drops though. Suppose we'll take the land. And then maybe run 1 mountain. Although we don't have a Sagu Wildling, so no real way to search that the mountain. We may just rely. By turn 8, we'll probably have one of these 2 lands, hopefully. And I think that's probably how we'll play it and not run a basic unless we pick up a way to search that, like an Evolving Wilds or something here late. Here, Royal Procession is fine, but probably just going to take another dual land here. Hey, I don't know that it's right to play it. Probably better to get a 2-drop here because as far as 2-drop creatures, we have one. Um, I want to take the Lion Weight, but we're going to take the Agent of Codas and draft responsibly. And it looks like that's going to be what we're working with. Hey, I might play the Elder. Like I said, we don't have many 2-drop creatures. I don't want to get run over. Our late game, we have Ureni. We'll probably beat a lot of them. Now, really top-end teamer decks we may struggle with. We're 5-color soup decks, but we do have a serviceable late game here. Like I said, I want to cast my spells. I'll drop the mountain and hope we can play Ureni with the 2 duels that we picked up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 13, 16 lands. Probably going to want to up that to 17. We want to cast Ureni. We have a lot of blue early. We'll take another island. Let's separate out our creatures and spells and see what we're looking like. We have 17 creatures, so I would like to cut probably 3 creatures and a non-creature spell. The Kishla Skimmer, it makes me more inclined to have these renew cards. We do have quite a few. It may be the Earth Carver, although I would like to keep that. Probably fine cutting a Champion of Doosan. Tempted to cut a Humbling Elder. I just really don't want to get run over. Probably fine cutting the Technique. We do have the Fresh Start, the Double Egg Cell. Maybe I will cut an Elder. Sometimes you're just going to lose to the red-white decks anyway. Pretty happy with the rest of these cards. I really don't want to cut one of the Appraisers. It's a really good card. For those of you who don't know, it is a common, but it's a 3-mana 2/1. You look at the top 2, one into your hand, one in the graveyard. So sometimes it can be like drawing 2 with all these renew cards. Bend the renew card, get some value there, and also draw a card on a stick. That's divination on a stick is probably pretty good when it's a 2/1 body. Might be one of the lion weights. We'll go down to 2. And this is what we'll do. Sultai splashing red for Ureni is what we ended up with. Let's get into this. Appreciate y'all sticking around. If you made it this far, let me know in the comments if you would have done the draft any differently. Maybe you would have ended up in Jeskai and made the switch for that Jeskai Shrine Keeper. I don't know that that's worth switching over at that point. It is a pretty strong signal, but we had a few good on-color rares to start with, and Jeskai is an okay place to be. I'm just not sure that's worth switching. Well, let's get into this, see how we do. Hoping for a trophy here. We have 3 lands and some spells. Nothing until turn 3, and our turn 3 play does not do much. We do have the ability to tap and draw a card. I'm going to keep, but we are on the play. I just don't want to mulligan. And worth noting, I'm a little scared of our start here, hoping my opponent doesn't play a mountain or a plains. Awesome. Got a Sipsig Appraiser, that's good. If our opponent plays a creature, depending on what it is, maybe we'll tap it down, maybe not, just to draw a card. Maybe worth saving that. We just have so much to do later here. Nothing from our opponent. Maybe. There is the Ureni. We're going to look for lands here. And there is a land. We will take the Bivouac. There is also the red source for Ureni. So we are on the survive until casting this spell. For those of you who don't know, if you don't know, Ureni, and I should have specified this earlier probably. I've kind of gone under the assumption that people know what these cards do, so if you do not, I apologize. But Ureni the Song Unending is an 8-mana 10/10 legendary spirit dragon with flying, protection from white, protection from black. So a 10/10 pro white, pro black, there aren't many spells that can kill it. It can get countered, but if it enters, it deals X damage divided however you choose among creatures, planeswalkers to the number of lands you control. So basically, it's a 10/10 dragon they're not going to be able to kill. If it resolves, you're wiping their board. So it is definitely a good place to be. We'll get in for 2 here. Our opponent on Jeskai, it would appear, with no plays so far, probably a slow start. So they may be like a Jeskai Revelation late game deck. So we let's get in here while we can. We're not really a late game deck. We have a lot of mid game value. So definitely want to be proactive here, and we don't have anything else to do with our mana at the moment. Next turn, probably just going to play the 4/4 reach here. Fourth land from our opponent. Looks like our opponent's the one that found all those Jeskai cards that were floating around. I'm fine offering this trade, I suppose. We're just trying to live. Our Agent of Kodos has some value from the graveyard. If they take 4, great. We're whittling them down, and we can play a Sagu Pummeler on defense. Looks like they might acknowledge the Agent of Kodos has additional value in the graveyard and aren't willing to trade for their 2/2 right now, perhaps. Nope, they are thinking about it. Looks like they're going to do it. I suppose I am also bluffing a trick of some kind or something with this tap of creature, but we're going to let this resolve. They probably have a dragon to pick this back up. Instants and sorceries. We do have the ability to get the Dispelling Exile back with the Trawlers here by getting rid of the Agent of Kodos. And of course, a counter spell, a heads up counter spell, that your opponent knows about is not as good. But you know what? We might just do that here. Slow them down. They're probably looking to play a dragon or something. Oh, we can actually, let's exile the Appraiser, keep the Agent of Kodos. Forgot about that one. Let's get our counterspell back with mana to play it. And then pass the turn. We're 5/8 of the way there for Ureni. They don't necessarily know we have a dragon in hand, so we are also representing a counter pay 4. We're not representing, we do have access to that. If we behold a dragon when you cast Dispelling Exile, instead of countering it unless they pay 2, it is counter unless they pay 4. Embermouth Sentinel, I will let resolve. They put a land that they choose on top of their library. I guess here we'll see if they're doing any splashing. I suppose they chose not to. Casting this dragon later is probably good. They may have a counter spell here. I'm probably just going to cycle it. I want to hit my land drops to cast Ureni. And, if they counter it here, I'd rather them counter this than Ureni. Thankfully, we do have some pretty big threats here with the Earthcarver and Pummeler. I would like to cast this next turn. That they're probably going to counter if they have access to. And if they do, great. They won't get the Ureni. Still looking for that land, and we got it. There we go. 3/6. This puts us at 6. Try to get in for 3 here. Here we could also, instead of the Earthcarver, play Pummeler and hold up the Exile again. I know that face-up counterspells aren't, you're not as likely to get your opponent, But I always know if my opponent has a removal spell or a counter spell that I know about, I just hate playing anything. It makes it so awkward. So yeah, we'll run out the pummeler here, and if they try to counter it, I can't counter their counter spell if that's what we want to do. Although with the renew, I'll probably just let their counter spell resolve. Looking good here. We're ahead on board. We have a counter spell to hold up. Opponent does have 5 cards in hand, about to be 6, however. Maybe they have a removal spell here, maybe a dragon plus a red XL that deals 4 damage that you can do at instant speed if you behold a dragon. Something a little fishy going on here because our opponent is definitely in the tank. Get it? Fish tank. Trying to decide what to do here. Maybe they do have a removal spell, but they know about my counter spell. I could see how they'd have to think for that, or maybe they are salty roping us. Maybe they're actually just disconnected. We're going to get a nice win here early. Time will tell. Okay, so it was the exhale. We now know about the Stormbrood, which lets them counter a two drop. Now, they can counter my counter spell with this, but if I let this resolve, I can keep this up and counter their dragon. Let's make them, if they're concerned about the reach because they have a flyer maybe. So yeah, we'll go ahead and do it. They don't have the mana. We're not gonna let them know about Ureni. Hope they use their turn to use another removal spell. Follow it up with the Earth Carver, which does have reach as well, which is nice. They are at 6 mana now. We're still 2 away from Ureni. Okay, they do play the Stormbrood, letting them pick up the Dragonstorm, which is good. Alright, nice. We're now 1 land away. Our opponent is representing a counterspell here. We do have the opportunity to play the Earthcarver and the Humbling Elder this turn. I could just put counters on it and then attack. But I'm hoping that I can get him. Maybe he'll try to trade or something. I'm hoping to try to get him with this Humbling Elder. So he's at 16. We're going to try to be a little aggressive again because we do have a big follow-up. I don't really want to run the Earthcarver into a counterspell, but like I said, I suppose I would rather that over the Ureni. Looks like he's fine taking 4 here. We're going to attempt to cast the Earthcarver. It does resolve, no counterspell. So here, yeah, I'm just gonna make a 3/3 in the turn. If he attacks, I will block with the Earthcarver and then hopefully be able to get him with the Humbling Elder, which 1/2 flash. I'll shrink his Stormbrood. Maybe he's got an instant or sorcery spell. Maybe he'll try to kill a creature, pump his guy. That also gets it bigger. If he has another one. Oh, nothing. All right, we will just lie in wait is our draw. Currently 2 damage. I can, however, attack with the Earthcarver and the Pummeler here. The Trawlers would trade for the Sentinel. Although, if they kill the Trawlers, I can lie and wait the Trawlers. That's an option. So, I'm at 22, 4, 6. They play something 8, play something else 10, 12. I'm attacking for 8, 11, and 14 here. I mean, they have to do some blocking. Let's see what they can do. And I have this Humbling Elder to maybe mess up some blocks. Had a little bit of a slow start this game, but so did our opponent. Had some good value with this Dragonstorm. Hopefully we're able to Yeah, hopefully we're going to blow up this block here with our Humbling Elder. If they double block the Pummeler or Earth Carver, okay, here I'll probably let the trawlers die because I can lie and wait it back. We will cast the Humbling Elder, keep our 3/3 alive. Then we can lie and wait the Kishla trawlers back, finish off the Storm Brood. Don't have the mana tapped correctly to play the trawlers there to get back the Lion Weight again or the counter spell, but it will be alright. Land off the top, we get to Ureni, but they're at 4, they have 2 blockers. Looks like we got there, so pretty nice game 1. Would like a little bit of a more proactive start, but can't complain. 1-0. Not too bad. Get into game 2 here. Kevin the Ostrich. Alright, Kevin, what do you got? Looks like I'm on the play. I have access to black and blue. I have the Nexel and the Dragonstorm to help me find the other lands. Kishel Skimmer, Lion Weight, perfect start. I can discard a creature maybe to Lion Weight it back. The Lion Weight also will trigger the Skimmer. There's a lot of value here. We just need to hit some other colored lands, and we have the Dragonstorm to help us with that. And also the Sultai Monument. Perfect. We will go find our forest. And we're in business now. Let's see what our opponent is up to. Sinkhole Surveyor. That is a good one. We did find our Ureni. Ways off from casting that, and we didn't even need to last time. And that kind of goes back to the should we have taken it, or the 4-mana dragon that we could realistically cast more often. You know, it's a tricky one. Here we have the option of Dragonstorming. We're holding up the Exhale. This thing can get out of hand if it keeps attacking me. Could also play the Skimmer. We'll play the Dragonstorm and maybe look to bend the Ureni and then Lion Weight it back as a deal 10. Seems pretty good. Next turn, you know, and also with the Skimmer in play. Draw a card from that interaction as well. We have plenty of lands here. Looks like our opponent also on Sultai. Surveyor's going to come in, probably make a 1/1, I would imagine. Oh, they're going all in. Well, dealing 10 will be nice here. See what their follow-up is. Sibsig Appraiser, okay. Opponent off to a good start. Another Lion Weight, awesome. I would like to have the Skimmer in play before I Lion Weight, but at this point, you know, I want to shut this down. So I have another Lion Weight to do it later. But here we can go ahead and Lion Weight, bring back the Ureni, kill the Surveyor, play a land and pass the turn. Glad they decided to put a counter instead of making a 1/1. Really, the go wide decks we're going to struggle against. So if we do run into red white, but hopefully we're able to out mid range or maybe sneak into the top end, tempo out, some form or fashion in the mid game, have some incremental value that before we just die to something really over the top and get our opponents here. All right, got a Highspire Bellringer. That's an okay card. Maybe they have a follow up that costs 1 less. Maybe some 2-mana creature. They are kind of going wide here. If that's the case, oh, they're going to put a counter and draw a card. All right. Opponent's doing things. That is for sure. This has flash. Maybe we'll be able to snipe one of those off here. Alternatively, we have the option to play a Skimmer. We could activate this. We could play a Skimmer and hold up a removal spell or a counter spell. But here, I think we'll hold up the ability to flash this in, trade or pick off, and also hold up a counter spell if they play something crazy. We will go for it. Looks like they have a counterspell, maybe. They know about the Ureni, so maybe they have to ask themselves, do I really want to counter this or the Ureni? We are a ways off, though. We don't have the colors yet, and we only have 5 lands. We do have the 6th in hand. If this does get countered, that gives us another target for Lion Weight next turn for Skimmer plus. So yeah, it looks like that's what we'll do. Next turn we get the Skimmer, Lion Weight this back, kill their thing, and draw a card, which is nice. Also have the Deuce on. They don't have counter spell mana up, so we are going to lead with the Skimmer. This will also let us draw a card here. They do have a stop here, so probably another instant. I'm thinking maybe a Snakeskin Veil or a removal spell. We're going to Lion Weight, bring this back. I guess we'll kill off the flyer here. Not too concerned about the 3/2 on the ground at the moment. We do have the Sultai Monument next turn. Also get to draw a card here with the Skimmer. Naga Fleshcrafter. Okay, if our opponent plays something crazy, we can copy it. We do have the option to just put 3 counters on our 2/2 flyer as well if we want to do that. They're hovering it. Maybe they have a removal spell, maybe a Caustic Exile or something here, or a Piercing Exile. We'll see what they have. We are at 12, so we do want to be mindful of our life total. Once we get down to 9, 8 or so, I kind of want to be putting on any brakes on damage. Do I want to block their Sibsig Appraiser here? I don't think we're quite low enough yet to where I want to give up the additional value of possibly drawing additional cards. So I will take this. Noting they probably just also have a removal spell. I will go to 9. I do have the Sultai Monument if they're holding up a counter spell, which it looks like they might be. So here, not opposed to just activating this. It is 5 mana. Alternatively, I have a lot of options here. I do have my own counter spell. I could siege and start hitting hard as well. But we can wait on that. We'll just go ahead and make some blockers. Looks like we're gonna go over the top here as we progress later into the match. Our opponent focused the Mind Shore. Our opponent's drawing cards. We do the Hollenberg Siege now. A few ways to put counters on things. That does represent drawing some cards, but our opponent, not too many creatures in play. The getting in with the Skimmer, or even just one of these tokens, so that they don't try to, they have to answer the token and not the Skimmer, might be a good idea. Gives an attacking creature +1/+1 counter, and when it attacks and menace until end of turn, really letting me get in there. We do have the Ureni in hand, so just stabilizing and drawing that red source and the 8th land. Seems like an okay place to be as well. Our opponent may have a removal spell. They might have a +1/+1 counter. I'll double block here. That is fine with me to trade one of these. If they want to spend another spell to kill my 2/2 and not my Kishla Skimmer, okay. We already got our land out of the monument, so a lot of value there. Sure, trade off. See what the follow-up is. Pummeler, that's a big one. Pummeler of our own. They are representing a counterspell still. We have one of our own. We could, I could just start putting counters on this Skimmer here. Get in with the Menace. 4 mana remaining. wish I could hold up my counter spell, but you know what? We'll just play a pummeler of our own here. Maybe it'll get countered. Once again, fine with it getting countered. Has Renew from the graveyard. I have other big things to play. They know about the Stormbrood. You know, if they have a Death Begets Life or maybe a Teval or something, those are cards I would definitely be a little afraid of here. Putting 3 counters on something with this though, and then a counter and Menace, you know, even Teval, not big enough for all of that. Veteran Ice Climber, sure. 22 cards left in the library. We're fine on that front. Bouncing the Pummeler, okay. We will block here, keep our life total kind of high. Another land, great. Now we're just missing the red source for the Ureni. An 8th land. Options here. Start out, we'll go ahead and get in there, grow this to a 4/4. They do the ability to bounce something again, so I would like to play 2 blockers if possible. And maybe they have a counter spell here for 2, but if not, it's nice because the Champion of Doosan is a 4/2. Does also have the opportunity to trade for the Pummeler. So yeah, they could bounce one of these. Maybe they bounce the Skimmer because it has all these counters on it, but continue to develop our board here. Attack when we can to push through some damage. They get the Appraiser and the Surveyor back, okay. Nothing too crazy there. Going to lead with this Appraiser, try to find something. And maybe starting next turn, if we don't have the ability to play Ureni, which all of our red sources are tapped, so I know we won't, we can start holding up Exile for when they do find something crazy. If they just run out the Surveyor here, okay. It does let them block my Skimmer. Unless I decide to put the counters on it. Not sure I've piloted this draft right. There's just so many decisions with this. We need the Lion Weights, the Sipsig Appraisers. They're not Appraisers, the other one. I can't remember. Kishel Trawler, there you go. A lot of decisions. All right. So with that, I think it's time we start going all in the air. Counterspell backup. So this would be 8. I don't want to just die. It'd be 12. They have to. Let's not push it here. Do they have the other counterspell? I would like to make an additional pummeler to block. They do. Okay. So they can bounce one of my things, hit me for 4 or 5. A block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. They are dead to crackback though, so we'll see if they kill me. That's kind of where we're at. They have 2 unknowns and a bounce spell. They may just bounce the Skimmer here. Reset all of its counters. I'm not exactly sure how the becomes a copy works. You know, I don't think it copies. Really, I think we want to use that for flyers to win the game. Give all of our creatures flying, take to the skies. Attacking with their 4/4. We will trade. This lets us give a something trample. Sorry, are they going to go ahead and bounce the skimmer now? Well, their last card needs to be an answer to this because I can give this menace when it attacks. We'll try to. Oh, okay. Well, they had the answer. Wow, that was a really good answer. Got rid of all of our graveyard stuff. Okay. Well, our opponent is doing things. They are out of action, however. We'll hold up the exile here. Kishla Trawlers. They just exiled our graveyard, so nothing too crazy there. We do need to answer that. That's an unblockable 3/5. Yeah, wow. Gonna hit me for 5 here. We might be in trouble, guys. Well, if they have us mill 3, didn't get us anything helpful. They did get rid of one of our red sources. But, could have had a target with that. Okay. Well, this lets us tap that down. Forgot that the ice climber could block, not gonna lie. But, okay. Sure. So we'll play the pummeler here to block the surveyor. Tap down the ice climber. And then hopefully win next turn. Having a counterspell backup. Alright, pretty tricky situation we're in here. Though they have so much mana now, the counterspell backup might not be enough. Okay, gaining 3 life here, also good. I don't know why they did this before blocks. 1, 2, 3. Well, can't counter that. They could have just killed me there. Okay. Alright, so the plan, flash in the familiar, gain 3 life. Both our red sources are gone, can no longer cast Ureni. Okay. We will attack here, hopefully trade with the Surveyor. We want to limit their creatures so that we can kill them before this Ice Climber kills me. Okay. Now both of these will present lethal unless he can do 2 additional damage this turn. I do still have the counter spell for 4 if he plays something. Sure. Maybe the next spell he'll cast. If it needs to be 4 mana and I can counter it. Another Sarkhan's Resolve would kill me. If somebody's running 2 of those. Be a little salty if that happens. Yeah, this one's really close. I can't block it, so it's really all in his hands here. He's dead to Crackback. We do have 5 cards in our library, so he's close to milling us out as well. 5 cards, 5 life. Do we get there? He is attacking, that is scary. Okay. Well, we're alive. Vigilance is nice on this. Alright, looks like we're gonna get there. Whew, this was a close one. Alright. Well, that one was closer than I would like to have been. But we are now on our way to Plat 2. Alright, decent start, 2-0. Let's keep it going. And we'll start game 3, see what we're going against. These Sultai decks, when I play them, it's always a, if you're playing red-white or something, just run somebody over. If you're playing over the top deck, you get to the late game, you just go crazy. But these are such an emotional roller coaster because you get into the mid game and then all of a sudden you're ahead, you're not ahead, you're ahead, you're not ahead, you're just trying to get this incremental value. And it's not always clear that you'll get there. Well, the land situation, we have Nat Tron, some Lion Waits, Sibsig Appraiser to bend something. It's a little slow. Well, we will take it. Did not pay attention. Looks like we may be on the draw. Not sure. Would like to be on the play here. It's a little slower start. Our opponent on red-white would be bad. They go if they curve out, 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop, we'll probably lose. We are on the play, which is nice. Lead with the Thornwood Falls in case we draw a green-black enchantment. No 2-drop. Play our other tap land. Red from our opponent, which is scary. Thankfully, we were on the... Well, this is the red-white, guys. Makes a 2-2. All right. I would like another land. Sultai Monument is a pseudo-land. With some... Activating this against red-white would be nice, if we live that long. We want to just keep trading as much as we can. Looks like it is Mardu version. Okay. Alright, we hit the land, which is nice. Could lie in wait and kill it now. Could run out the monument. Guarantee us land number 5. I think it's what we'll do. We do have the Humbling Elder, which is great here as well. We need, I guess, Forest. Hopefully they attack with the underdogs. Or, well, it's a 1-2, I can't kill it. But we'll be able to eat the token here, hopefully, regardless. We'll take no damage there, and we'll block here. Lie in wait the Appraiser back here soon as a removal spell that also gets us the, Appraiser, which will get us cards back. That's a good one. That is a good one indeed. Cannot quite kill that right now. The Champion of Doosan makes it harder for them to attack. I could just activate my monument as well. I guess we'll, we have the monument, we could, here we go. Alright, we can Dragonstorm. We'll draw 2. We'll discard the Champion of Doosan. And then we'll lie and wait it back. Kill the Butcher. There we go. And we're just not going to attack, be as defensive as possible here and get to the mid to late game. Oh, they have the war effort. That's a good one. Hitting our land drops, which is nice. Attack with the Elder here, can't really block with it. The underdogs is tough. It lets them make something unblockable. Let's see what their follow-up is here. I will double block this. Okay. We'll run out our 4 power creatures here. Make it hard for them to attack. If they do kill one of these, I can lie and wait it back to get rid of the Avenger of the Fallen. The Avenger of the Fallen is good here with war effort. We just want to keep their board as small as possible, really. If they attack, I will double block. I will double block. It does represent an additional, say, 2, 4, 6, 8 damage if they attack with everything. Just from the tokens. It'll make 2 2/1s. And this creates a 2/1, so, well, 6 additional damage. 4 mana. Do they have another Butcher or something? Oh, Salt Road Skirmish. Okay. Well, our opponent has a pretty sweet deck here. That's a lot of damage. Wow. Holy crap. Yeah. Okay. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 13. Wow. Keep our life total as high as we can here. I guess I should have blocked this. These are gone anyway. But they are down to one card. We can kill that this turn. Run it out there and okay, hopefully we stabilized. That was a really interesting turn from our opponent. It was a pretty good combination of cards for him. But, you know, we've been able to just, wow, Sonic Streaker. Okay, another good one. Nice. Let's get them to discard their last card. Oh, that lets us bounce back this. That's cool. I want to keep the Kishla Trawlers to hopefully get back a lion weight maybe eventually. And there's our red source. If we draw the Ureni, not going to attack here, just really want to stabilize. You know, we have the Durgar Island Dragon here, Kishla Trawlers to get back a maybe a Pummeler. If they attack, will block. I may double block. Both of these in the graveyard are fine. All right. This on the dragon does represent 4, 8, 13 damage in the air, if we get to that. Still looking for a good lion weight target, maybe the Pummeler if they're able to kill it, or the dragon, that works too. Am I dead? This is a lot of damage. No? Okay. We'll trade here. And I think let's just keep our life total as high as possible. Counterspell, okay. Okay, there's the Ureni. Maybe don't need the trawlers anymore. Make this wide. And now, hopefully, okay, I think we've turned the corner. And we'll just pass here, hold up counterspell. This has flash, and then if they play anything, we can Ureni. This is a pretty sweet turn of events for us. All right, we're going to get to cast the Ureni. All right, that did it. Wow. Well, we were able to beat the red-white or Mardu deck here. They were not as aggressive of a start as they could have been. We would have really been in trouble, but they had some sweet uncommons, the and rares. But yeah, we're 3-0. All right, let's keep it going. We were able to cast our Ureni, which it really didn't matter at that point. But and once again, that circles back to the hey, did we need it? Is it the right pick over the 4-mana 4/4 flying dragon? I don't know. You all have to let me know what you all think. Well, we have all of our colors. We're on the play. We have the siege, the skimmer. Pretty good start here. This may be where we get to beat down quite aggressively. In the air with the skimmer here. Skimmer into siege, attack for a 3/3 flying menace on turn 3. Seems pretty good. We have the familiar as well when we get to our 4th land. Let's see what opponent's on. With Evolving Wilds, I'm guessing Forest. Island, okay. Alright, they had the Forest. Botanist, okay, that's a good one. That is a good one. Let's start getting in there. Let's see if they have removal. We're bigger than Piercing XL now. Yeah, Botanist is pretty good. I would like to make it to where it's difficult for them to attack with that soon. Be able to flash in the Fangkeeper's Familiar next turn. Did not want Snakeskin Veil. Okay, maybe they're looking for lands. I don't know. Okay. Well, if we just keep this alive, we may just get there with the skimmer. Here we can hopefully counter a creature, maybe surprise the botanist. Maybe I'd rather hold it up to counter a creature here. Maybe like a Sagu Pummeler or something. I would like to get rid of this. It's creating value, but okay, perfect. Don't think we want those lands. I think we're pretty well ahead enough here. Hoping we'll just win. Lifelink's good, but that doesn't do it. We have the 5/5 flyer. Good game. Looks like we got there. Sweet. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When you're able to just go aggressive with the siege, it's just so good. Nice. Alright, one step closer to Plat 2. I did have fun. We like those starts. Those games, simple, painless. Sitting 4-0. Alright, awesome start. Let's keep going. Hopefully they're not trying to find us somebody too good to pair us with here. On the draw, no green. We do have a Premeier and Dragonstorm. We'll keep. Hopefully get to the Ureni. Opponent on black. Maybe another Sultai deck. Black-blue, looks like it. Embermouth, Sentinel, sure. Rather that than encounter my Dragonstorm here. Alright, they are Sultai. Okay, there's a Lion Weight. We need to find a forest now. And we will actually discard the Ureni to get back with the Lion Weight later. We define the red source. Our opponent playing some interesting cards here with the Sentinel and the Watcher of the Wayside. Did not mill me? I'm a little confused there. Okay, here we're going to play the Skimmer to set up for a Lion Weight next turn, although the Sipsig Appraiser would be pretty good as well. Let's just get some value going. Alright, Sultai Monument. Our opponent on all colorless here, it would seem. We will take 5. They are threatening counterspell mana here. I think we just go for it regardless. Could also play the Appraiser. Okay, so they stopped us drawing a card. Are they going to use a second removal spell on my Kishel Skimmer? Oh, aggressive negotiations. Okay, getting rid of the Ureni again, I assume. We do have another Lion Weight in the deck. Don't necessarily need him to win, though. Or maybe he's on a... Okay, wants to take the one that we could play first. Sure, alright. Hey, that's a good one. Maybe we should have played this and blown up the Sultai Monument. Hopefully he whiffed on a land. Playing this, trading, and blowing up the Sultai Monument seems fine. Oh, it's only enchantment. Oops, well, I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I don't think I need those. Opponent stuck on land, we're not. Maybe they'll regret letting us keep Ureni. 6 mana. We could play around a counterspell by playing the Pummeler. We're out the Earth Carver. Okay, great. If they go land, Sultai Monument, make 2/2/2s. I'm okay with that. All of our cards face up, so our opponent knows what we're doing. Awaken the Honored Dead. Is that the... Yeah. Alright, looks like Earth Carver's down. Counterspell of our own. That's cool. Not too worried about it at the moment, though. Start out with the Appraiser. 3, 6, 2 lands away from Ureni. We will take a... We already have the red source. We have not played land. We'll take the swamp. Let's just follow this up with a Pummeler while the shields are down. Now 1 land away from casting Ureni. We do have a counterspell as well. Opponent milled some good cards. They do have the 5 lands now. Maybe they'll crack the monument. Okay, they don't have counterspell mana. Land on the top gives us Ureni. What did they just kill? Oh, the token. Okay. And they're playing their removal. I will take that one. That one goes away. Those are some fun sleeves I just noticed. Alright. Well, we get to cast Ureni here while the shields are down. Seems good. Bring back our Dragonstorm. Maybe our opponent will regret not taking it, but our opponent stumbled on land some. That's pro black, right? Yeah, protection from white and black. So our opponent would need to bounce it probably. Oh, the fresh start would lose all abilities if they can find a way to get that back. Something blue based bounce, lose all abilities. I mean, it'd still be a 5/10 flyer or 5/10 rather. It'd be hard for them to deal with that though. All right, yeah, that does it. Yeah, Ureni will do that. And you could put that tally in the column of why we chose Ureni over the 4 mana rare black dragon. Plat 2. All right, making a good climb here. We are sitting, I believe, 5-0 now. Yeah, 5-0. Let's get back into the game here. See if we can't make it 6-0. All right, back in it. Lands, spells, siege. Okay. Opponent mulligan, and we're on the play. We like to see it. Start out with the tap land. Turn 2, we have the siege. Probably going Abzan as the mode again, and not Sultai. Dragonstorm also an option here. Well, I played the swamp, so we're playing the Dragonstorm. Not sure it's right. That's what we're doing. Do we get rid of a land here? I don't think so. Let's get rid of the Champion of Doosan. That might not be right. Let me think. The Champion of Doosan just hits so hard with this Hollow Merc Siege. Green-white? That's interesting. Let's get rid of the Pummeler. A better target, or a better renewability anyway. Still some value there. Okay. Could play out the Champion of Doosan, and next turn looks to start hitting with a 5/3 Trample Menace with fresh start on whatever. That's a good one to hit fresh start on. Oh, also a good option. Um, Says flash. Okay. Well, we don't have to use it yet. We can wait and use the lion weight next turn because this has menace. Smack for 5. All right. So Jeskai splashing green, maybe? Presumably for some really strong dragon. I don't know, maybe a Karakit Guardian. We're okay taking 3 here. We have the fresh start. We can save it. We have the lion weight answer with the pummeler next turn anyway. Well, if they're not going to play anything, they probably have a counter spell. So let's start out. Okay. Tapping, sure. Okay. So have a fresh start up. plenty of cards from our opponent. These Jeskai decks are pretty strong. You know, when they start river wheel sweeping and stuff. Okay, Iridescent Tiger, sure. I don't think this whiffs the mana generation. If I'm wrong, let me know. Well, okay. Opponent's doing things. Maybe they draw like one of the exile cards here too and absolutely blow me out of the water. It's like 5 mana, make a 3/4, draw 3, discard a creature, kill your dude. That'd be crazy. Gonna be able to Kishla Trawlers back to Lion Weight here if we get another creature in the yard. Alright. Sibsig Appraiser. I like it. Yeah, I'll take a counter spell. Yeah, these aggressive starts with the siege, they just really hit hard. And we'll hold up a counter spell and a fresh start here. We do not have a dragon to actually counter that, so sure. Probably going to fresh start it, so we can just keep it smacking with the Champion of Doosan here. Counter anything if they go to kill it. They might have that 2 mana deal 5 to attacking. Okay. We'll go ahead and fresh start it. Develop our board some more, have a counter spell. Hopefully able to pick off something crazy maybe. Our opponent is at 3. 2 lethal attackers. No dragon, so yeah, that's gonna keep them alive. Although this is able to give trample. Oh, it exiles. Oh, okay. Maybe counter something here. If they try to double kill my things. Our opponent's at 3. They have a 3/4 and a 0/4 ox or something, you know, equivalent. Negative 3/4 here, no abilities. Yoked Ox, I think, is the card I was thinking of. Um, they'll have to block. I kill one. I just want to keep this alive. Okay, yes, we can counter this one. And that may do it. Not lethal this turn, but gonna be a good attack for us. Oh, it actually is, because I can give this menace. Oh, that for sure does it. All right, looks like we got there. Has menace. Nice. All right, we're into plat 2. Continuing the climb to diamond. All right, 6-0. I will see you all back when we get to the championship match. Alright, welcome back everybody. Championship round. We're on the draw. We have no blue. We could play the siege on 2. We're going to keep, but it's scary. Alright, we'll go forest pass. With the land there. Maybe should have mulliganed. Well, we hit a third land. Go Abzan. Hopefully this champion of Doosan can do some work. Yeah, just need an island. Maybe this was a mulligan, I'm not sure. Well, we'll try to run this out. Would like to add blue this next turn, but if he plays a creature, we're still hitting him for 5 here. Sure. Does he counter it this time? No, okay. So we have our colors. If he kills it, we have a lion weight. Nope, okay. He's I would call that the master of the dirt. I'll bounce your thing or the card that can bounce it again, but then return the bounce card so now I can bounce it 2 more times. It makes these counters a little bit worse. We'll just have to fight through all of that nonsense. Sure. Okay, I thought he was going to return the thing to return the thing. It was getting a little out of hand there. Alright. Okay. Well, we have the lion weight, so we can discard like a pummeler here. Get it back to deal 4. It also has renew if I don't go that path. We did get the Ureni. That's nice. Not sure. Our opponent's doing some dirtling. And, like I said, if they remove the champion of Doosan or bounce the 4/2 again, fine. I'm going to play scarier things. A little stressful, this is the championship, the trophy match here. Hopefully we can go 7-0. That would be pretty sweet. It did not feel like a 7-0 deck as I was drafting it, but okay, that's a good one. Our opponent's got some good stuff. That's a big guy. Is that a sorcery? Sorcery? Yeah, hopefully I'm able to kill it. Kill it with the lion weight here before he puts another counter on it. Okay. We'll go for it. Oh, does he have like a snakeskin veil too? Well, he does. Okay. All right, we're getting beat up pretty bad here. Could make it a 7/6. Okay, zone champion of Doosan. Okay. We're at 6 lands. Tapped red land and then land off the top would be nice. Was his last card a removal spell as well? No. Okay. Well, we will take 6. Opponent really giving us a beating here. Okay. We have some options. Yeah, and this is where the Abzan mode of this not as good on the defense, obviously. But you live that life. Just play the dragon. Get the Dragonstorm back. Yeah, lots of options here. Let's just try to trade, stay alive, stop his attack here, and get to Ureni, I guess is the plan. Okay, he had his own. Tap our guy down so we can no longer block the 6/5 effectively. We're at 10, we'll have to block the champion of Doosan here. Yeah, we're really getting hit. Put a trample counter on the trawlers. Draw a card, maybe? And a woman counter? Oh, okay. Seven lands. I just want to not die here. We'll just play our creatures. Yeah, I guess we'll do this. Because we're going to have to block and our creatures are going to die. This lets us get them back. Mission Stay Alive is a go. We have more cards. You know, our opponent's threatening some huge attacks here. We may just be dead. This gives trample, right? Yeah, I think we might just be dead. That's 7. That's 11 trample. We have 4, 6, 8. Now we'd go to 1. Okay. Going all in on that one. Sure. Okay. Yeah, our opponent's got some strong stuff. Well, we have to block. Go to 2. Oh, or just die. Wow. All right. Well, we took a loss. We have taken a loss. 6-1. Got a couple more shots at our trophy though. We'll see how the next one goes. I will see you all when we get into the next game. All right, here we go. Looks like we're going against Merp. We have all of our colors. We're on the play. We have some things to play. Looks like a really good hand. Okay, maybe an Abzan or Sultai opponent. Another counters deck, maybe. We will see. We get to go find an island here. Yep, Sultai maybe. All right. Could fresh start that here. Let's just okay. Well, I would like the see. It's interesting because like what are the odds I find a lion wait before I can cast the Ureni? But then again, it's like I should probably just take the Ureni. Or maybe I'll wait for lion wait. I'm gonna wait for lion wait. I don't know if that's correct or not. I just don't want to get locked into a pipe dream I can never do when it's a perfectly playable option now, early in the game, countering their spells. We have a dragon. All right, take our 2. No follow up for the opponent. Probably just gonna attack here. Sure. With that, I'll run out the pummeler. Alright, our opponent's doing some attacking. Not sure what they have here. Maybe a +3/+3? Okay. Plenty of options here. Instead of cracking the Sultai Monument, I can hold up a Flash Dragon, I have a Humbling Elder, I have a Fresh Start, I have an Exhale. Plenty of options here. Looks like they are maybe Abzan, also Sultai. It's kind of weird. Okay, we will counter that. Do they have their own counter spell plus dragon? Nope, Static Snare. Make some 2/2s. Lots of choices here. It's kind of difficult. We are on the back foot here. Just going to try to make some blockers. Have some good cards. And that counter spell interaction, I mean, they had the other piece of removable. Like, we're not close to casting Ureni here, right? And we just need other playables, so I think it was the accurate move. Opponent on a very interesting deck playing Mardu Devotee with Skimmer and a counters base card, and, losing to this would probably make me a little salty, but, you know, let's just triple block that. Let's just try to whittle this away. I could have blocked the 2/3, but I don't know. +3/+3 would have made it a 5/6, or so yeah, would have lived. +3/+3, this still kills. This 1/2. Let's whittle away the board. Try to stop taking damage. All right. Well, there's the lion. Wait for the Ureni if we need it. Kill the flyer. They need a counter plus dragon for the Dragonstorm counter spell. They could get me if they have the like syncopate one. It's like pay 3 or whatever. Hold up a fresh start. Pass the turn. We're in the driver's seat here a little bit. Let's not rush. We are at a lower life total. Okay. Make some prowess, guys. Their deck is just, it's not even like 5-color soup. It's, I don't even know. It's just an amalgamation of a bunch of different decks. But they're doing things, so props to them. Merp. Merp. Getting murked. All right. Let's see what they got. We are on 5 lands. We have a 50% chance of drawing a land. That's a good one. But, so a ways off from Ureni still. Let's go ahead and get rid of that guy. We could make our own here. Less worried about tapping. I would just like to draw land and just start playing these dragons. Okay, they had the answer to it, sure. Still trying to be defensive. So could still have that +3/+3. That would be a blowout. Oh well. Have I called it all along? Is that the card? Are we taking 6 and all of our stuff's dying? Alright. Another land. Run out the dragon. No attacks. Just trying to stabilize here. 2 more lands till Ureni. We already have the red source. It's face up. Our opponent knows about it. Could play it as flash if we get this into play. Start playing dragons, hopefully, and stabilize. That's the plan. Yeah, our opponent's deck is wild. Like, Karu Goldkeeper plus these removal spells. They've really gone in the tank on this one. So I'll go Wilding. That's a good one. Thankfully smaller than our dragon. Alright, another land. 1 step closer. We're now 1 away. Here, shields are down. Let's just go ahead and run out this dragon. No attacks. We're just stabilizing until Ureni. That's the plan. I would say their deck doesn't look like a counterspell deck, but I think they just have everything. It looks like they took, this is the best card in that pack, and we're taking it, and that's what they run. Okay. That's a good one. We'll Kishla Trawlers. We'll exile the Appraiser. Get back a Lion Weight. Currently no targets, though. Run out the Champion of Doosan. No attacks. This Ureni here will pretty much wipe the board if we draw a land, which we have a 50% chance to do so. Opponent in the tank. They know what's up, and they can see our cards. Assuming we draw a land, we kill the Wildling, Nurturer, all the 1/1s probably. Another Detainment. Is that pro white? Yeah, okay. We're gonna block. Hold up the Familiar probably. This has flash anyway. No need to rush. 19 cards. This does let us destroy an enchantment, so we could get back one of our other creatures here. The Flesh Crafter probably. Yeah, okay, we get to... maybe we're supposed to counter that. Oh, well, okay, hold on. So, we can do this. Destroy an enchantment. Destroy this. Oh, this is pretty sweet. Copy this. And then counter the Skirmish Rhino? Wow, that was crazy. Yeah, I would scoop at that too, opponent. Wow. Nice. Alright. Well, pretty sweet. We did it. We got the trophy. 7-1, I believe. With a pretty sweet deck here. Kind of recap with it. Pretty happy overall with how that went. The Ureni, I think, a game or two came in there clutch. Well, maybe one was over the top and unnecessary. So still not sure, if we needed that or the 4-mana Black Dragon that we passed up on. I can't remember its name. Something Region, I think. But that's the big question for me. Other than that, pretty happy with how this went. I appreciate you all. If you made it through to this part of the video, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.